Hello, friends, and welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey, back with some movers. Let's dive into the big one. I'm sure you saw it. $400 million for Dak. Yeah, let's pump the brakes here, guys. 1 star. That actually makes a little bit more sense than maybe you might think, but it's just the 1 star. Comes to us from failed NFL GM. Former NFL GM Mike Tannenbaum. He says he thinks that Dak will eventually sign a $400 million deal with the Cowboys over 10 years, so $40 million per year. That's a super long deal, and it would be a record-shattering deal, of course. This is the type of deal that the initial reported money or speculated money really doesn't even matter. It is all about the structure and the guaranteed money. The longer your deal goes, the more per year you make on the deal in terms of the initial report, because the salary cap goes up 10% each year, and it might have a bigger increase once the new CBA is agreed to. So that sticker shock there, I get it's a lot, but if you're going 10 years, you're going to have to go in that $40 million price tag range. And of course, it's the guaranteed money that matters. How long is Dallas tied to Dak Prescott? Is it a true 10-year deal with guaranteed money sprinkled throughout? Probably not. Is it more of a 4 or 5-year deal? That makes more sense there. And then, is it backloaded beyond belief? My guess is it's probably the latter, where you're not paying $40 million a year in year 1. You're probably not getting to that $40 million price tag into year 5. And at that point, when we get to year 5 and it goes beyond that $40 and $40+ million deal, at that point, it's not even going to be that expensive. I mean, Mahomes might get $40 million on a 4-year deal. So I think you're going to see, if this does go down, the $40 million per year price tag range isn't as bad as it sounds, but I don't think you see 10 years for that. So my one-word reaction to this alleged and speculated deal idea, I'm going to go with doubt. I don't think it reaches that amount of money or that length of time. I don't think you're going to see a 10-year deal. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys front office has complete faith in Dak Prescott. You're going to do $40 million a year. At that point, you can probably get by with franchise tagging Dak Prescott, which does make it more expensive. I don't think Dak's team wants to do a 10-year deal. He can do 4-4 and do 35 this time around, and by the end of that, might be in that $45 million range, just because that's how quarterback contracts work. Always remember that. The money's a lot, the cap keeps rising. Quick news item, then back to the rumors. Cowboys are working out kickers. Yay, I think. Kai Forbath, Tristan Vizcaino coming in on Monday for a workout, the latter of whom worked out for the Cowboys last week. And Kai Forbath struggled for the Patriots, missed an extra point, and then did make his only field goal attempt. It is good the Cowboys are doing this. I'll make this point right now. Whatever kicker you bring in doesn't fix your problems. I'm sorry, it doesn't, because there aren't any good kickers left. The problem is, it can't be Maher anymore. Somebody else can miss. The mystery box of a new kicker could be anything. It could be a Brett Maher. It's probably not going to be any worse at this point. That's why you do it. It's probably not going to be a Steven Gostkowski. In fact, I know it's not going to be. But you got to try something else. Sometimes change for change's sake is the only thing you can do when your current option isn't working. Speaking of that, Jason Garrett. Does he need a deep playoff run or he's fired? Wait, where have we heard this before? All right, literally months now. It's 4 stars. This is not new. But when it gets nationally reported, I feel the need to bring it back up. Win and win big, or get fired, or invited to not return. Read between the lines there, sirs. It's still the case for Garrett. This team has collapsed the past couple of games. Lose to the Patriots? Okay, I get that. It's understandable. You should have won that game, though. I think that's been made very clear. The Bills game, you pooped the bed. The next game against the Bears, you also pooped the bed. Like, if you're doing that back-to-back nights, something's got to change. And not just your pants. Like, you got to make changes here, okay? And Garrett's seat has never been hotter. You've got 3 games left. Frankly, the Rams game doesn't even mean that much. Not with where you sit right now. It's Week 16. You must win that matchup. If you do not, you're cooked. You lose to the Rams and the Eagles, you drop 5 in a row. Season's over. You ain't making the playoffs. Give it up. Tank Week 17. So when will Jason Garrett be fired? You can throw in never if you want, But, I mean, Jerry's big mad. He wants to hold on to Garrett because he wants to win this year. He still has that kernel of faith, which there's really no reason to at this point. At least the reason that you should justifiably have it in there. So let me know in the comments. After week 16, week 17, pick a day if you want in January. Let me know in the comments. While you're down there, hit that big red button as you throw in your FGs, because I know you guys. If you want Jason Garrett fired, to subscribe. We here at the Cowboys Report, it's time. It's time for Jason Garrett to go. I am on board with you guys. You've watched my shows. You've seen me cuss. You know how frustrated I am. I know how upset you are. So if you want him gone, subscribe, and we'll continue to lead the charge. Now, with that in mind, let's talk replacements. Urban Meyer. I'm still going to go with 2 stars here. I think the percent chance has gone up, though. Now, we know, we've gone over this before, Meyer's expressed interest, said he doesn't miss coaching as much anymore. And I think there has been, not a material change, looking at you, Ari, but there is a change. Namely, the USC job did not come open. Now, either A, USC decided they didn't want to retain, or wanted to retain Clay Helton on their own, or maybe they called Urban Meyer. And Urban said, nah, I don't want to go back to USC, I don't want to go back to the college level. Maybe he does want the Cowboys job and not to go back to college football. So no USC job being available for Meyer, I think that does increase the possibility of him coming to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, it's a risk, and we'll get to that in a second, but you can do a lot worse, right? Everywhere this man has gone, he has been a winner. One at Bowling Green, one at Utah, one at Florida, one at Ohio State. Took those programs to their highest levels, or at least matched their highest levels for Florida and for Ohio State. But do you want him? Type Y for yes and for no. I think most of you say yes, and I'm not even looking at the morality of it. I'm looking at the practicality of it. There is a couple of big red flags. Number one, no NFL experience, so you do have to adjust a little bit. But the biggest thing for me is the health issues. This man has left 2 different jobs because of his health issues. So I just heard Mitchell Wren say he's fine. If that's the case, then the man has left 2 different jobs because shit got hard on him. So either the health issues are a big red flag, or the fact that when the going gets tough, Meyer's left 2 great jobs to go somewhere else, or just not coach at all. That's a big red flag for me, one the Cowboys would have to investigate, because the last thing I want is Urban leaving in 3 years. Okay, your head coach doesn't stay for more than 3 years, barring a Super Bowl in that time frame, which is normally not the case if they leave already. I'd have concerns. Lincoln Riley, he's next up here. Also 2 stars. I think it makes sense. In the same report from James Slater, the Cowboys have interest. Now, that's no surprise, right? I mean, we've mentioned this for about a year now, Riley being a candidate. Of course, the entire NFL wants Lincoln Riley. If he were to leave Oklahoma, a fantastic job, one of the best in football, not just college football, NFL too. There aren't very many NFL jobs he would leave for Oklahoma for. Dallas is one of them. I've heard the buzz of, there's someone under or beneath Jerry Jones who likes Lincoln Riley. I think it's Stephen Jones. That's my speculation. Lincoln recruited his son to walk on to Oklahoma. He went to Arkansas, but the relationship exists there. And more than some out there want to admit it, Stephen Jones runs this team a lot more in terms of the overarching decisions beyond the final stamp of appeal, yes or no, than Jerry Jones does. Stephen has a tremendous amount of power. If Stephen really pushes Lincoln Riley and he says yes, I think that's the head coach the Cowboys end up hiring. So who do you want them to hire? Let me know in the comments section. You can make a push at Sean Payton if you want. I think that's a bit unlikely, but there's no harm in trying. The question is, do you want to pay that amount in terms of money? Jerry's fine with that. But more importantly, draft capital. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code you see on your screen, Cowboys120, for a 120% deposit bonus. The Cowboys have killed me lately with some losses. They were pretty good to start the year, and then since then, not great. It's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120. Couple more coach notes here. First up is Tony Elliott. How about him as Cowboys head coach? No. Fake news. I don't buy this. Sorry, Jane. I'm sure your source heard it, but it doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't even make sense. Tony Elliott, more on that in a second. He's been the Clemson co-offensive coordinator since 2015. Broyles Award winner. He's great at his job. Hey, he's a great recruiter, I think. He does a great job with the Clemson offense. But you're telling me you're going to hire a Clemson offensive coordinator? Not even going to hire Dabo? Who, by the way, not only has he never coached in the NFL, he's never been a head coach. Doesn't make sense. And it doesn't even make sense, not to me and you guys out there. Tony Elliott thinks it doesn't make any sense. Here's his quote. Do you believe that? The Dallas Cowboys? That's really flattering. But the Dallas Cowboys? I think that might be too much for me to bite off, more than I can handle, especially with not having any head coach experience. It doesn't make sense. Bad idea. Don't do it. You want to bring him as OC? I'm here to have that discussion. Head coach? That's your hire. You can and should do so much better than that, or at least less of a risky move there. Now, less risk would be Mike Zimmer back to Dallas. I'll give this one 2 stars. I think it makes a little bit more sense than it might. We didn't put him on our big-time replacement list, but when we do some other head coaches, Zimmer will be on that. It's come from Pro Football Talk. They floated it out there. There's some rationale behind it. Namely, well, there are Cowboys ties here. Was an assistant from 1994 to 2006, those last 6 years. He was the team's defensive coordinator. He's only under contract with Minnesota through 2000. So what if Minnesota, maybe they don't have the best success this year in the playoffs. Maybe they get upset or they lose in the wild card in a loaded NFC. I think Zimmer could be a good fit. Maybe it's not the sexiest hire, but he's been a good coach for Minnesota. His worst year, 7-9, about 500 in 2018, missed the playoffs, made it in 2017. They're going to the playoffs this year. That's, I think, better than Garrett. And which team is more talented? Minnesota or Dallas? Isn't it at least an argument? And Minnesota beat Dallas this year. Isn't that worth something? So it's not the sexiest hire, but I think it would be a safer hire. I'm curious what the coaching staff would look like for Mike Zimmer, but it is at least an idea I would float out there and say, hey, Mike, what are you thinking? Okay, you're interested. Hey, Minnesota, what's the cost here? Maybe it would definitely be cheaper than, say, Sean Payton. Now, today's show, as I mentioned, brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. Put down 50, extra 60 for free. Only if you use that promo code Cowboys120 at chatsports.com/bet. Troy Aikman as GM. A real GM! Fake Twitter's excited. Yeah, 1 star. Sorry. I'm not necessarily opposed to the idea of bringing in Aikman. I think he would be a good front office member, and I think he might actually have some success running a football team. But he also has never done that before. Bringing in Aikman as the GM or VP of player personnel, whatever role you want to call it, it makes sense if you're blowing up the roster because your current front office can't identify talent. So he's not going to come in as the GM. Would he want a non-GM role? Maybe. And if so, I am intrigued. But as the GM, no. Now, he's expressed interest before. Would that be something I think I'd be interested in? The answer is yes. And I think I'd be very good at it. I'm not even disagreeing with Aikman here. The problem is, I don't think Aikman makes a ton of sense for this current Cowboys team. You bring in Aikman if you want to change everything. Do you need to change everything? Some of you might argue yes. But also, those of you that want a real GM, ignore the fact or are ignorant of the fact that there is a real GM. And his name is Will McClay. He is the Cowboys' Vice President of Player Personnel. And he might not have the GM title. He does a lot of what a GM does. He is actively involved in the draft, in the free agency process. He's not the money guy. That's more Stephen Jones's area. But Will McClay, as the GM, has a pretty good track record of drafting. I know they took Tristan Hill. I know they took Taco Charlton. Everybody misses. Look at the overall draft results since Will McClay was promoted. It's pretty damn good. So he is your GM, whether or not that's his official title or not. You have a real GM already. Now, he's had GM positions in the past. He's stayed. If he leaves, then he can call Aikman. But I don't think you need Troy Aikman because you have Will McClay. He's done a good job. I don't see the need to blow it all up right now. But who knows? Maybe that'll change in the next couple of years. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.